before coming to Andhra Pradesh, many of my friends, the common advice I got was that you should attend at least one Pawan Kalyan rally to understand the craze he generates. So was that a craze? Is it a craze for the actor Pawan Kalyan or politician Pawan Kalyan?
No, it's not about just an actor. Because I hardly had done films. I had done must have done around 28 something. It's not that all my films were hits, but somehow I was always committed to certain ideological thinking. Maybe I think apart from films, I think that's what it was connected to me. It is that's the connect to the people, connect with the people. Yeah.
Coming from Kerala, I have an interesting question. You aligned with the left parties in 2019 and now you are with BJP. So how can you explain this ideological shift from left to the right?
Oh no, it's not like that. It's a for me, you cannot take away religion or dharma from land. Because in recent times, also I told in one of the interview, my father was when both the communist CPI and CPM were together. There's only Communist Party of India. My father was a Communist Party member, my uncle. So when there was an issue, they went into underground, and one of my uncle went into military, and so it is deep down we were grew up on socialism and also with Ramanama. My father was also a socialist, a communist, and also at the same time he really used to chant Rama's name in a big way. So for me, it is very. The culture connect is very natural, apart from being a socialist or what we call it, communism, whatever it is. So for me, shifting is not something to... political, I didn't start with the Communist Party. I started with Modi ji. And also you have to understand, I was in 2009, I was one of the founding members of the Praja Rajam Party. So we went alone then, so I have that experience. And when I formed the party, it's a very specific situation here, unlike other states. It's about state got bifurcated, the combined state. And Congress was heading the UPA then. They had done it. So naturally my inclination would be, and of course I have a good connect with Modi ji, whatever he speaks. That's how I align with BJP through Modi ji.
One particular thing I admire in you is your willingness for a long haul. Unlike many acted and politicians who gave up after one electoral setback, you didn't give up after what happened in 2019. So was it an easy decision, and how you kept going?
It was very, very clear-cut decision. I grew up a lot on Nani Palkiwala and Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan. And I have a great influence on me, it's Narayan Guru. Especially I was thinking about cars and the approach towards the way Sri Narayan Guru has, the way he initiated the caste reform, social reforms, I think that was really connected with me. Normally, I'm not an actor, but deep down, my DNA is not of an actor, because I had chosen to be an actor. I was pushed to be an actor. But deep down, I want to get into a lot of, this kind of people's movements. And in a way, I can say I was inclined to a lot of left movements in my growing years. And I was CPM leader, Tharmal Nagreddy, India's Mortgage. I grew up on such kind of books, and Puchalpal Sundaraya. And for me to understand, actually came into politics now, to understand the political awakening happened not because I become a successful actor. It's not because of them. Much before I entered into cinema, when I was in teens, and I was quite interested in to understand the social realities and political realities and how they influence our life. And I think that's how I developed. So acting came much later. So I think that's the reason when I established the party. For me, I'm very clear about one thing. Whatever popularity you have as an actor cannot be translated politically. You have to, anything you to achieve, you have to give a decade time minimum. And for me, for myself, I have given 25 years. So losing one election, for me, that's okay. That's fine. We'll go on. And I think it made a difference.
I'm sure that the viewers in Kerala must be surprised and delighted at your mention about Srinarayana Guru. And coming to this election, when we travel and meet people, we get the impression that this is a battle between livelihood issues and welfare schemes. So where do you place yourself and the TDP-led alliance in this battle?
See, there's no one. See, welfare. How welfare can do it unless you create a development? Even it is nothing new about this welfare schemes. It is state directive principles. They are very clearly mentioned. The state should take care of social, political, social justice and economic. You have to take care of people. That is very clear-cut directive from state directives. What do you call it? Rashtra Adhesika Sutralu. That's what we call it in Telugu. State directive principles. For me, I think it is natural to extend whoever is in need of welfare scheme. They should be extended. But the problem here is you cannot knock out the livelihood. Here we are thinking both should go hand in hand. You can't mortgage the state properties, and you can't mortgage the public properties and keep on doing it. How long one can do it? So what we are doing is, it's not just welfare schemes. Make sure development be hand in side by side. That's what we are going to attain.
When Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was arrested, you immediately stood behind him, supported him, and also announced the alliance. So was it an impulsive decision, or were you waiting for the right time?
Nothing is impulsive, or nothing is well thought of. For me, it's called dharma. So if there is some, for me, what Martin Niemöller says, when when Hitler came, okay, they came for communists, I didn't raise my voice, I'm not a communist. They came for socialists, I'm not a socialist, I didn't raise my voice. Vice versa, Jews, I didn't open my voice. Trade unionists, I didn't raise my voice. For me, this particular government is like very, and it is like kind of very tyranny. The tyrannical government. It's full with tyranny, this government. And you should let the opposition live. There should be a debate. There should be some kind. Okay, you cannot completely dependent on political vendetta. So for me, we are all going through, and of course I had done a travel with 2014, I had done a travel together with TDP. I didn't like what's happening in the state politically, this kind of political vendetta. I said I want to raise my voice, I want to stand by them. The situation went into such democracies went in a peril at that point of time. I think if not now, I think when. I think I said it. That's how I stood.
I'm told that it was you who took the initiative for the TDP-BJP alliance. But at the same time, there were reports that BJP was talking to YSRCP also. So are you sure that after the elections also, BJP, TDP, JSP alliance will stay together and there won't be any change in the alliance?
So there was never a change in the alliance right from 2014. My personal connect with Modi ji or BJP leaders had never gone. It was policy-wise, I think we got separated. So personally, we never had. But BJP and under the Modi ji's leadership, they never do, whatever, if they believe in it, if they don't like it, they won't do it. Example. Today, they aligned with us. In 2014, they aligned with us and we went ahead. In 2024, I think that kind of situation would never arise, never occur.
Many people say that BJP is a northern party, North Indian party. They don't understand the sentiments of South India. When you are in an alliance with BJP, what is your take on such?
See, I tell you what belongs to India then? If Marxism is not from India, whatever you call it, the Marxist ideology is imported somewhere from Europe. And I think if you could align with Marxism and communism, and what is an issue with BJP here? I don't understand that part. And that even if you look at Congress leadership is somewhere from, they're not a South Indian speaking people. They speak Hindi or some other language. For me, I don't see any difference. It is about the ideological approach and connect what makes the difference. I think that aligns with the entire subcontinent. I think you cannot deny that part.
Finally, we were in Pittapuram last week, and from the feedback we get, we understand that you are on a safe.
I don't see. For me, it is like, I believe in Dharma, Dharmo Rakshit Rakshataha. And I believe in you have to understand, I believe in both, the socialistic commitment and Dharma, both go hand in hand for me. I don't know about others. Because my father was a socialist, from a hardcore communist, he became a socialist. Then he's also a great Ram Bhakt. So for me, both go hand in hand. So for me, winning and losing, for me today, if I'm on a stronger wicket, I'm glad. But in 2019, you would ask me, I would have been the same guy. So by then it was on a very shaky ground. Today I'm on a strong ground. But my commitment for social justice is the same.
Thank you very much, Pawan Garu. I know I was telling our viewers that you are the biggest star facing the electorate this time, and I know that you are very busy despite your schedule.
Thank you very much. Yesterday you had asked me, I thought I should honor it. And, I love coloring, and I love, I used to come to Shabarimala for a long time, and when I was growing up in Chennai. So I'm a mad fan of coloring, and I love the way the culture of potboiler culture of Kerala, and all the religions coexist, and especially I love the way Keralites respect their mother tongue, irrespective of the religion. I think we should all learn from that. That's what now I keep quoting that one. How one should love their mother tongue. We should learn from Keralites. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So we will take that back to Kerala. And thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you.